Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to a special episode of my model train review series. In this special episode, we're looking at the two A3s that I reviewed in my previous episodes, you might remember. So let's get on with it. So we're going to start with, first of all, Flying Scotsman, which is obviously the famous steam engine in the world. I notice here this is like a special edition. Special edition one of the apple green livery being released by Hornby for the NRM. And next to it is its classmate here, Brown Jack, which is quite a good engine here. But you see, only this one now exists in York, which I've seen many times. It's a really cool, it's a really famous and amazing locomotive. Well, if you're there at the NRM, do watch out for it. Right, notice for most of you. Now you might notice here, with Flying Scotsman here, she was built as an A1 at first in 1923, but was later converted to an A3 after the war. And Brown Jack here was built as an A3, probably at Doncaster in 1935. I think she was built in Doncaster. I think some of them were built to the North British Locomotive Company in Glasgow. You might notice here that both of them have got a double chimneys and smoke deflectors. Although the smoke deflectors were fitted on BR days, but because the smoke from the double chimney was drifting through well, you can see the observation window right here, which was blocking the driver's view because he was having trouble seeing where the signals were. So they fitted the deflectors on to solve the problem. Now if we go back, now you might notice the LNR on the tender on Flying Scotsman, and with the corridor tender, yeah, she also had Flying Scotsman also had a corridor tender when she did the non-stop run from London to Edinburgh in 1928. I believe it was on the 1st of May. It was. I think it was the 1st of May. No, I wasn't around in the late 1920s. But Scotsman here also became the first steam locomotive to record a 100 miles per hour barrier. And anyway, enough of that. Let's move on to Brown Jack. You can see here. Here she's got my notes is here. She's got black paint on the smoke box. And that's a shed code 64A. I think it's St. Margaret's Shed. Oh yeah, I think I've got that right. When I did a review of that, I thought it was King's Cross Shed. Turns out it was St. Margaret's Shed. It's in vacuum pipe we saw in Scotsman. My notice here, the overhead warning signs. Let me just turn the lights on because it's getting quite dark. There we go. Now we'll be able to see it more clearly. Let's take a look at the rods here. There's her name here, Brown Jack. And there's her number there, 60043. Well, Flying Scotsman had the number 60103 in BR days. Well, this engine was originally, this example here, Brown Jack, was introduced as number 2508 when it entered traffic in 1935. Also, if we look around right there, notice here, it's got a non-corridor tender with coal railings. So obviously a Great Northern design. Which gracefully introduced on as A1s as the A3s were known. That's a gun here. Pardon me. If we look at the back of the tender, you can see there's overhead warning signs again. Right. You might remember, I think I remember seeing the non-code attended on the archive films of Flying Scotsman's fellow A3 classmates in the early 1960s. So just like on, I don't know, what other A3s and Great Northern non-code attended designs. I think there was like Melton, St. Simon, and what others that you have? Let's see. I think the White Knight had like a aggressively non-code attended design, like what Flying Scotsman had in BR days, and like what Mallard has these days. And what else? Can't think. Right, there's a little vacuum pipe there. The water thing up there for the water, for the tender. Let's just go back to locomotives and see how they look. Now look at that, don't they look gorgeous together? And like, so we see on the, I remember seeing on the A4s. Just look at that. I think you might notice here that greens are a little different. Well, this one here is the apple green, and that one there is the BR Brunswick green. Now most of you might think that Flying Scotsman should be in Brunswick green with the double chin and smoke deflectors on. But I mainly prefer the apple green livery because it does suit Flying Scotsman better. But I haven't did get a chance to see the real one in the apple green yet. Probably might see it when Flying Scotsman's restoration is complete. Probably this year or next year. I'm not too sure. Well, the National Railway Museum in York are doing their best to restore Flying Scotsman to mainline running, and I think it might be best for them to make new components from scratch instead of using the original ones, because they'll be life expired in time. I'm not too sure what the deadline is going to be achieved. Probably like next year, or I'm not too sure. I think I'll probably like check on the Flying Scotsman website or Heritage Railway or something like that. Let's just move the camera so we can wrap this up. Don't they look well stunning together? Because we know out of all the Alan Yard survivors, there's some classes that only had one representative, like for example the A2 and the A3, and mostly there's some of the Alan Yard classes that have more than one representative, like for example the Y7s, the B1s, and surprisingly the A4s. But I think we should be thankful that Flying Scotsman here has survived into preservation. We see Flying Scotsman was withdrawn in the beginning of 1963, and I think because we aren't very thankful that any other A3s have made it into preservation. Like, I think that's because preservationists couldn't be bothered to save any of them, and that means we've now ended up with just Flying Scotsman here. Well, she's mainly up to York sometimes. Well, if you take my meaning. Anyway, let's just. I think let me wrap this up, and now let you still feel the pictures that I took earlier before I did the filming of this.